What is the best way to control and subjugate a population? It's to brainwash them, leading them into a state of learned helplessness and making them believe they are at the mercy of external circumstances. A person who does not believe in themselves and the possibility of transformation would do anything to obey the rules imposed by authorities. This is how the insidious mechanism of our society works, a complex web of lies, manipulation, and failed indoctrination. There is a divine spark within you, deeply buried due to all the social conditioning you have received over the years. Since you are not aware of your importance and innate power, you have been living a rather mediocre life, haven't you? But not all is lost, there is still hope for you. Deep within the structure of your brain, there exists a small yet powerful gland that can help you transcend your limits and become one with the infinite, the source of all that exists. It can help you renew and re-establish your spiritual connection with your higher self. So, are you ready to use this fascinating knowledge and awaken the Cristic consciousness within yourself? If you are committed to unraveling this mystery, stay tuned to this video, because by the end, you will find an effective technique that will help you achieve this goal. The knowledge that we are unlimited and divine beings is not new. In fact, it is as old as human civilization itself, and the ascended spiritual masters of various traditions have spoken about it extensively. The Bible speaks about this through stories and parables. Unfortunately, most people see the Bible as just another text and cannot extract anything substantial because they cling to the literal meaning of each word. Since the time of Jesus, only a few souls have known the secret of using metaphors in the Bible to convey wisdom and forbidden secrets to the general public. This has been the norm in human societies since the beginning of time. Not everyone was allowed to know the deepest esoteric secrets, especially those related to our infinite nature and our ability to create, awakening the Cristic consciousness within us. Only a handful of sages, mystics, and people in power knew these deep secrets. If this were to become common knowledge, humans would have found a way to escape their suffering much earlier, but this is not something the powerful desire. Those in power have always wanted to maintain the status quo, with some powerful individuals benefiting from the masses' ignorance. This is how the matrix of the three-dimensional world was structured. The system is so powerful that you cannot dismantle it with physical force, and any struggle against it is akin to wasting all your vital energy reserves in vain. The only way to break free from the invisible chains of ordinary life is to go within yourself, to perceive and commune with the God that exists within you. It is about awakening the Cristic consciousness so that you can live a heart-centered life, filled with love and fulfillment. But before we proceed, it is crucial to understand what Cristic consciousness really is. As the name suggests, it is an elevated state of consciousness, very different from the normal states of consciousness that we generally manifest. Normally, our senses are immersed in the hormones of stress, fear, and worries, as we are deeply involved with the problems of the material world. The material world, although an important component of our reality, is merely an illusion. The mind is all that exists, and a person's state of consciousness is what gives rise to the external circumstances in the physical world. So, fighting against physical reality is useless. It is being shaped by your states of consciousness, and if you are serious about taking control of your life, you must start from within, dealing with your state of consciousness, which is the source of all experiences you encounter in your life. Cultivating Cristic consciousness is the only solution to all your fears, worries, and apprehensions. At this level of consciousness, you transcend the limitations imposed by the material world and connect directly with infinite intelligence, divine consciousness. This is the same state of consciousness with which Jesus aligned and performed miracles. We see this repeatedly with enlightened beings who carry the same consciousness, such as Buddha, Krishna, Gandhi, and many others. These masters and ascended souls bring the message of liberating the soul from the perceived limitations of the world. Every problem or fear is merely a perception constructed by the human mind, and as this lie is perpetuated so vigorously throughout society, most people end up wholeheartedly believing it and thus surrendering their power. Cristic consciousness is the consciousness that permeates the universe, but it is exemplified by the life of Jesus and all avatars and liberated beings, as they express not an egocentric, separate, illusory, or divided consciousness, but the unified consciousness of the Divine Father. And this is Cristic consciousness, as Swami Anant said. The ego plays a major role in deceiving consciousness, as it teaches attachment to external things and objects. But living in Cristic consciousness means knowing the tricks of the ego and not being its prey. There are three important characteristics of Cristic consciousness that help a person rise above their limited perception to truly become part of the infinite source and incorporate its magnificence into all aspects of life. The first characteristic is awakening to your true self, being a divine extension of the Supreme, of God. The Greek word for Christ means the Anointed One. God flows through each of us, and therefore, we are all the Anointed Ones. But we simply do not perceive our power and live in states of fear. No one is so special as to be deprived of this honor of being an extension of God. Therefore, achieving Cristic consciousness is possible for each of us, as long as we cultivate sufficient self-awareness. This brings us to the second characteristic of Cristic consciousness, which is the awareness of our thoughts and actions. Once an individual awakens to their true divinity and perceives the truth of being part of the infinite, they must abandon their old ways of operating in the world. Every thought triggers a process that eventually ends in a physical action. We are all creating our life experiences one thought at a time. While an ordinary person may live an unexamined life, a person seeking Cristic consciousness simply cannot. They must be aware of the thoughts they are nurturing and feeding in the fertile soil of their mind, as each thought is shaping their destiny. The third characteristic of Cristic consciousness is living life from a higher level of self-awareness. This involves offering kindness to yourself and others and not getting trapped in the labyrinth of the ego. So, how can someone activate Cristic consciousness in practice? The answer lies in your head, literally. The pineal gland, a small gland in the brain, is your pathway to higher dimensions and to expanding your spirit. Activating this gland is extremely important for the expansion of your spiritual vision and wisdom. It is also called the third eye, or eye of God, in various ancient texts, as it leads to a higher state of consciousness and communion with infinite intelligence. This special gland, a small endocrine organ of 35 millimeters, is located near the brainstem, at the center of the brain. Its pinecone shape differentiates it from other organs and structures around it. The pineal gland plays a crucial role in the production of melatonin, a hormone that influences brain functions such as sleep, thus impacting the circadian rhythm and serving as a bridge between the sensory world and the celestial spiritual realm. Notably, the pineal gland receives more blood flow than any other organ, which leads to the belief that it holds the highest concentration of energy in the human body. In the Vedic texts of ancient India, the pineal gland is referred to as the Ajna chakra. According to Sanskrit literature, there are 7 main chakras or energy centers in the human body. Each chakra is a reservoir through which energy flows and nourishes the mind, body, and soul. Each chakra is unique, has distinct characteristics, and plays a certain role in balancing and calibrating the energy in the body. A chakra can become blocked for various reasons, thus impacting the delicate balance of the energy system. If a chakra is out of balance, it must be harmonized to continue replenishing the vital reserves of the energy body. The ajna is the 6th of the 7 chakras of the body, located between the eyebrows. The word ajna means knowledge, which demonstrates how this energy center has been associated with wisdom and access to higher dimensions. The kundalini energy, which rises from the base of the spine, reaches the center of the third eye, leading to visions and elevated perception. This perception is remarkably different from what we experience in normal states of consciousness and, therefore, is free from the notion of duality. In this chakra, Everything becomes one, the masculine and the feminine, man and God, as there is only one energy pulsating through each avatar. Yogic masters undergo the activation of this chakra and become omniscient beings, capable of shaping their desires into reality. In ancient Egypt, the pineal gland was called the Eye of Horus, and archaeologists discovered that it was preserved in the mummification process. However, the importance of the pineal gland in awakening superconsciousness is not limited to ancient texts and traditions. Scientific research is being conducted to study how this small gland connects the material world with other dimensions. The function of the pineal gland is closely related to two neurotransmitters called serotonin and melatonin. The pineal gland is highly sensitive to light. When we perceive light through our eyes, it reaches the optic nerve, which sends a signal to the brain, triggering a series of neural and chemical reactions that lead the pineal gland to produce serotonin. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that helps the body become aware of the environment and regulates its many functions. It also produces beta brain wave frequencies, which range from 12 to 32 Hz. These are high-frequency brain waves responsible for critical thinking and performing daily tasks. During the day, most of us are in beta brain wave states, which help us interact with the external world. On the other hand, whenever we are in a low-light environment, such as at night, the pineal gland begins to produce the other neurotransmitter called melatonin, which helps brain waves slow down from beta to alpha, from alpha to theta, and from theta to delta. In states of slower brain waves, the activities of the sympathetic nervous system are reduced, and the body enters states of deep relaxation and rejuvenation, culminating in sleep. One of the most potent and scientifically documented ways to activate the pineal gland is by immersing oneself in deep states of meditation. Effective meditation leads to a complete disconnection from the external world and gives us time to connect with realms beyond our usual perception. Millions of people attempt to meditate, but only a handful manage to experience the surreal activation of their pineal gland. This happens because the conscious mind is too busy and preoccupied with external circumstances, preventing the body and mind from fully relaxing. Brain wave frequencies become chaotic, and there is no space to dive into the deeper layers of one's own consciousness. As the natural secretion of melatonin at night creates states of slower brain waves, research shows that meditating at night, between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., yields the most impressive results, as melatonin levels are highest in the 24-hour cycle. In Sanskrit, this is called Brahma Muhurta. Brahma means the creator, so this time, just before dawn, is considered the ideal window to create one's own life. Here is how Sadhguru emphasizes the importance of Brahma Muhurta. The whole body is in a certain conducive atmosphere, and there is a natural production of melatonin, which is a secretion of the pineal gland. We want to take advantage of this because the pineal gland is secreting at its maximum during Brahma Muhurta, which means you can stabilize yourself at this time. People want to get up and perform their spiritual processes to gain the maximum benefit. Brahma Muhurta means the time of the Creator. You can see it this way: it is the moment when you can recreate yourself. It is essential to recognize that the activation of the pineal gland can only occur in states of rest and repair, and not in survival mode. As stress levels increase in the body, melatonin levels decrease, leaving the body in a state of alertness, fight or flight. Therefore, your best chance is to take advantage of the hours between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. and meditate to activate this mysterious gland and access the Cristic consciousness within you. As we reach the end of the video, here is a pineal gland activation meditation that you can use every night. First, sit in a comfortable position, but with a straight posture. Since you will be doing this meditation at night, it is likely that you will end up falling asleep if you do not maintain a firm posture. Gently close your eyes and locate all the energy centers in your body, one by one. They start at the base of your spine and end at the top of your head. If you can visualize the location of the energy centers before sitting down to meditate, it will help you avoid any confusion. Once you have mentally located all the chakras in your body, close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. Take long inhales and exhales to anchor yourself even more in the present moment. Slowly, focus all your attention on the first two energy centers of the body, the root and sacral chakras. Now, take a deep breath, and as you inhale, visualize all the energy from these lower centers rising. With a firm intention and a long inhale, let this energy pass through each center and eventually release it between your eyebrows, at your pineal gland. When the energy reaches your third eye, exhale and relax. Then, prepare for a second breath, repeating the process of drawing energy from the lower centers and concentrating it on the pineal gland. At first, you will only be able to perform a few rounds of breathing, but with enough practice and patience, you will improve in this breathing technique. Repeat this breathing session every day for at least 21 days to activate the pineal gland and experience the magic beyond the three-dimensional world. Don't forget that your most incredible and fulfilling life is on the horizon. You simply need to bring it into existence, one day at a time, by harnessing the immense power of your pineal gland.